What's up, guys? It's Claudio here, and we're at Hincapie, day one of the series. This is Rock Hill Criterium, the 4-5 race, and man, this was what an incredible racing experience. Over 60 people signed up, and let's look at the stats really quick. Normalized power 253, and average speed 26.1. That's fast for a 4-5 race. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I struggled through this race. I know that I've been doing well at these other criteriums, but here it's just a huge struggle for me. I knew it from my warm-up. I started warming up, and I could tell that there was something going on, like my legs were just flat. I don't know if you guys have ever done that in your warm-up. You start doing some efforts, and you're like, what is happening? Why is my heart rate going up so quickly? And why, like, I had no snap in my legs, and I realized that right away, and I was so disappointed. So I already started this race not in the best mental game, and I was just hanging on, and it was fast, and people really wanted to race. And furthermore, it started to rain. As you can see right now, right here, it started raining, and I had pumped my tires up to 105 PSI because I looked at the weather. It said it wasn't going to rain, so I was like, cool. And I was freaking out about that, especially in the turns. I was braking all over the place. I had no confidence in my legs, in my tires, and so not good, not a good place to start. I want to walk you guys through what I did this week leading up to the race. So Monday was my day off. Tuesday I had 2 races, so that was a big day. Wednesday I did a 30-minute easy spin, and I did an hour of strength, but like kind of easy because I knew I was racing. Then Thursday, this was my mistake. I did sprints. I did 6 times 20 seconds all out sprints, and with 6-minute recoveries, and that took the zap out of my legs. I think I should have omitted that. But and then Friday I did openers, and this was on Saturday, the race. So I wasn't trying to peak for this race. This was just another race in my calendar, but I'm thinking that I should have tried to peak because this was really happening. A lot of people showed up. And as you can see right now, I am trying to stitch this up. I'm towards the back in huge gaps. I mean, people are getting really blown up here because of the speed of this race. And I have to just close this up right away. Already, second lap, my heart rate is 180, and I just don't want to get dropped. And the race was like this, a lot of gaps opening up. Remember, this is the 4-5, so we have some really strong riders, and we have some pretty beginner riders. I think, for some people, this was the first race of the season. So, a lot of gaps. A lot of dropped riders, and I'm just trying to hold on and figure out what I can do here. Just trying to get in this draft and bring it back up. The rain was really freaking people out. I mean, we had moments like this where all of a sudden it would slow down, and it would kind of freak. This guy kind of got spooked and got squeezed out, stuff like that. People getting squeezed all over the place. My goggles were fogging up so much, eventually I had to throw them to the sideline because I couldn't see anything. And then it was worse because then I had water in my eyes the whole time. And it was dirty, muddy water for some reason. So that was terrible. I mean, it was just a grind. For me, a total grind. And from what I can tell, other people, it was just, it was not an easy race. People came out here. I mean, I don't know how these 4-5s are doing, averaging 26 in the rain, which is crazy. The next day, I think our average speed was 24 or 25. So it was faster in the rain. And coming up this hill, I really like to keep my momentum as much as possible and try to take the inside, which is the shortest route. But you got squeezed. You got squeezed every time. You had to grab a handful of brakes and then shoot out of here, which really kind of put a dent in your legs. And now we're coming up into kind of like this sort of headwind section, so everybody slows down. Nobody wants to pull here. And that's pretty much recycling every single lap. Here I am, 38 miles an hour, trying to keep my momentum. Look how many places I passed. But again, you gotta watch it here, because you can get squeezed out. And it's raining, so not a lot of confidence. And you could tell that a lot of people were nervous here. I mean, it was a really nervous pack, but people were still hammering it. Here we are, pushing it through this section right out of the hill. I get bumped. My front wheel gets bumped by the back wheel of this guy, and luckily I was in the drops. I'm in the drops the entire time of this race. There's no way I'm not in the drops, and I think that's what saved it. You can have more control of your front end if you're in the drops, and I held it together. And this guy bumped into me on that turn. I mean, there's just it was very physical and not intentional physical, like accidental stuff. There's a difference. It's like beginner style physical race, as opposed to like, guarding and holding the wheel in front of you, right? Anyways, it was a hard race. This hill really, depending on what the pack was doing up front, it could really take out 500, 600 watts going up this thing for 20 seconds. It'll spike your heart rate, and then if they do another surge on top of the hill, you're dropped if you can't recover. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, crash, and we're out of there. We go off course, and I had to, it took me, I remember this, it took me like a good half a lap or maybe a whole lap to completely stitch this up and get back in the field. And this kind of thing really spikes your heart rate. And also, it just, like, whenever you see somebody crashing, it instantly affects your confidence. Like, oh man, I could be next in the rain. So it really brings you down. I mean, you gotta be mentally really strong to stay in there after seeing crashes and getting bumped into. So that's why this was such a struggle for me. Just kind of like bringing you down slowly but surely. Your mental game, it's very affected by all these things. But I was grinding my way through it, I had to keep grinding. Let's see what's happening here. We're lap 8, about halfway through the race. And we're just getting through this. Okay, I see this guy going, and I want to make up some ground, so I try to follow him. I get a little squeeze there, so I couldn't really do that. And water's all over the place, man. I mean, that was just like, the amount of dirty water that I swallowed was ridiculous. 11 laps in. Let's see what I'm trying to do here. Do I take the outside? Do I go around? What do I want to do? This is headwind, but it's going to turn into a tailwind. And I push it a little bit, 500 watts of that, just to hold it. It's kind of significant efforts here. People so these lap riders, man, they are, actually they're doing a good job there, staying to the outside. It gets confusing. Who's in, who's not, and I follow this guy. Okay, it slows down. Great opportunity to move up, just like that. And now I'm towards the front of the race. This is it. I think this is the very front. I don't know if there's anybody up the road. Remember, it ended up in a field sprint. And now I'm there. Finally, I feel like, okay, I'm back in the race. I can see what's happening. Let's see what we're going to do. But I don't have the confidence in this race. I don't have the confidence in my legs, in my freaking tires that blown up so so much in the rain. Like, that's ridiculous. Really, if I had known for sure that it was going to rain, I would have put it down to like 80. Some people will say it's less than that. I'm running clinchers. So I'm up there. I'm trying to stay in there to see what's happening. I don't want to get so close to the wheel. It's so hard to draft in the rain. And people kind of start moving up. I'm trying to decide what I want to do, where I want to be. This is good, though. I pretty much keep my speed on that turn. Nice. And dropping back a little bit. I'm not as comfortable up there. I kept my speed. And now these guys are attacking up the hill, which is a really great place to attack. If you have it, if you have that kind of a power, and if you're a light guy, like kind of climbing sprint power, it can really take you far. And I love seeing the rear view camera. Jeez, these guys are just hammering it. Look at this guy in the white bike. Just hammering it up there. I love it. And he keeps moving up. And there he is. He's passing me. He takes the wheel. Nice job. He's there to race. I love it. I love seeing that. Not getting much of a draft from him, but whatever. You see people, in the field that are ready to race, that are in there hammering. I mean, look at him. He's still pumping it. He's going up there. And I'm not. And there's a huge gap now. And what do? Do I close it, or do I let him close it for me? I don't think I want to close any gaps at this race, the way that I'm feeling. But now there's a split. It's really annoying, like when this happens. And it gets brought back. No big deal. 16 laps. We close that down. Let's see what we do. And now we're coming up towards the end of the second to last lap. And here I make a move. Boom. I want to move up because I know it's going to be one lap to go, and that's it. I keep my momentum. They all slow down, and I'm at the front. But now I'm like, I'm too far up, as usual. I just end up, it's really hard to get like the sweet spot of like third or fifth wheel. So I end up first wheel, basically. I'm eating wind. It's tailwind. It's not a big deal, but I'm still doing over 300 watts. Not so cool. And this is it, the bell lap. Last lap. You can see this is a frenzy, guys. This is really nerve-wracking. In the rain, last lap. It's intense. Everybody's looking around, waiting for the last lap flyers. I'm in there. We're gonna watch this whole lap. And everybody's looking around. I'm there, but I don't want to be too far up. But I want to catch things as they come. Like this guy, is he going up, or is he's repositioning himself? Okay. I'm not doing too many watts. I don't want to brake here. Do I brake? No. Good. Kept it at 30 there. And now I slot in. This guy's got a good draft. This guy's strong. But I'm coasting. I'm keeping my speed up. Really do not want to brake here because I know we're going to get swarmed. Any second now. With the guys with all that pedal through the downhill. Just like this guy. And now we're going. It's hammer time. We gotta hammer it up this hill. And we got some contact. People going off. I mean, it's all over the place. And you gotta really fight. At this time, you gotta fight. And try not to brake, and it's just a grind. I mean, look at this. These guys really want to race. I want to keep my position, but man, I'm zapped out. I've got nothing in my legs. And now it starts to move backwards a little bit. And I got to hammer it right here, right now. I got to stay up there in the top 10. It's so important. And that was my chance right there. I could have snapped and gone with them. I could have had top 10 for sure, no matter what my sprint was, if I had gone with that guy. I didn't snap. I just didn't have it at this race. And I'm starting to go backwards. And going more backwards. And I think we know what's going to happen here. If I'm going backwards in the last 400 meters like this, it's not a good sign. Last turn. We got to hold it. We got to keep it together. Let's go. Let's see what we got. Can I get a top 10? And there's my sprint. Barely 700 watts. Trying not to crash here. And I get 16th place. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We have day 2 coming up in just a few days. That was a crazy race. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.